It's been just over a year since I first purchased my Miya Himi gouache set, so I thought it'd be a good idea to give another review on how I feel about the set 1 year later. In the beginning of the video, I included some shots of what my palette looks like right now, in its current state. It's been clearly shown some love this past year, and all of the colors are dried out and thoroughly used, especially the 2 white pans. It looks a lot different than the pristine jelly it was last year. I'll link my last video below if you want to check it out and see what my initial reaction was to this set. For this painting, I'm doing a similar scene to my piece last year of Monet's Garden in Giverny. I'm painting on a watercolor paper block with Royal and Langenickel Zen series brushes, and these are the same supplies that I used in my last video. To give a little recap on this palette, I initially purchased it for $18 US, and looking on Amazon today, this same set retails for about $21 to $23, so it's still very affordable compared to other gouache sets. The packaging has held up really well over the year, and I still use the tray provided inside of it to mix my colors on. This tray can be cleaned off with water in between projects, or you can save your mixed colors on it and reactivate them with water for another piece. I tend to work on pieces over a few days, so I leave my mixed tones in the palette and then I can pick right back off where I left. And there's never really any problems with reactivating this paint with just a little bit of water. I think the most noticeable thing about this set, and something I've received a lot of comments on, is how dried out it became. The advertisement for this set and all the videos you see about it on social media shows it as super shiny and wet paint. And that's definitely how the set appears when you first purchase it. But for me, after about a month, it had completely dried up, which is, I think, completely normal. The jelly cups naturally do dry out over time, even though the container is pretty airtight. I never experienced any leaks when the paint was still very wet. I don't think this is a flaw in the design though, because drying out is pretty inevitable with any type of paint or container design. However, with a generous amount of water on your brush, the paint still works really well. It takes some getting used to and a lot of experimentation to get the amount of water right to reactivate the set once it's dry. I normally use a lot of water to mix my initial colors in the beginning of the painting, and then gradually use less and less as the paint begins to soften while I work. I've also seen some people use a spray bottle to reactivate the paints, but I haven't tested this method yet, so maybe I'll try it in a future video. Overall though, I haven't noticed a big decline in the paint's quality once it's activated. You just have to be sure that you have enough water on hand before you start. And this set is not as easy to travel with once it's dried out like this as a watercolor set is. This paint is still very opaque, and it mixes quite nicely in the trays. As you can probably also notice from my palette, it's super easy to mix colors in the pans themselves if you don't thoroughly clean your brush. Most of my colors have sort of morphed into these new shades, so I've had to use quite a bit of water to clean them off and access the original colors. You can especially see this in the 2 white trays on the left. There are so many random colors mixed in there now, it's pretty hard for me to get any sort of pure white color. I also noticed that it's pretty easy for the dried cups themselves to break a little and spill some fragments into other pans, so if you carry this palette a lot, you might notice that. This set's always getting tossed around in my backpack, so I think that has had a big impact on some of the dried paint breaking. But, it's just something to keep in mind if you're traveling around with this set. This current piece contains a lot of layered greens and blues, and I did not have too much trouble layering these colors on top of one another with the gouache in its current state as I continue to work on this. I like to start with a gouache sketch base, but these colors can also layer pretty easily over pencil if that's how you prefer to start a painting. The colors also still blend together nicely, and they don't become muddy after lots of use on the page. Okay, so would I still recommend this set a year later? Honestly, yes I would. Even a year later, I still use this set all the time, and I think the quality is still great. I will probably need to purchase more white very soon if I want to keep using this particular set, but I think the individual cups are now being sold on Amazon, which is a really big plus. I think this set is still an excellent choice for people looking to get started with gouache or just want something new to add to their paint collection. I'm a student and I use this set a lot in school for all sorts of projects that are not even art related. So it's very versatile in what you can do with it, aside from traditional paintings. It also works really well in sketchbooks, as you can see in some of my other sketchbook painting videos. The color range, quality, and price are still great a year later, and I've enjoyed getting to port this set around with me. So before I end my commentary for this video, I also just wanted to say thank you so much for 2,000 subs. I took a mini hiatus from posting to focus on school and give myself a little bit of a break from the internet, but I am so glad to be back. I really do appreciate every one of you, and your comments make me so happy. I can't wait to get back to posting more and sharing my art with you all. If you have any comments or suggestions on this video or future videos, feel free to comment below. See you all in the next one!